What's going on, guys? BTS here, back again with another episode of Best Classes, a series in which I go over a certain gun and class that I personally think works best with that gun. And today we have my second favorite light machine gun right next to the LSW. You guys have been requesting this for a while. That is the QBB, and this thing is absolutely awesome. Like I said, it's my second favorite light machine gun. It's right up there with the LSW, and the LSW, you guys all know how good the LSW is, and this LMG is almost just as good. Almost. I don't know why, but when I use it, I feel like I'm still at a bit of a disadvantage as opposed to when I'm with the LSAT, when I feel like I could just run a train on absolutely everybody. But anyways, one quick note on the gameplay. What I normally do is I'll play the game and then I'll go back and record it in theater mode. But with this gameplay, I was recording it live while playing. So let me know if you guys prefer that as opposed to the theater mode gameplay, because with this, you get the game one kill and you're able to see more fluent movements, if that makes sense. So if you prefer this, let me know, or if you prefer the theater mode, let me know, or if you just don't give two shits, you know, let me know. It helps out because I want to produce the best kind of content that you guys enjoy. So let's get right into the class that I'm using, because that's why you guys are here. I got quick draw, target finder, and stock. So yes, if you use this online, you're probably gonna get a lot of hate, possibly a few, definitely a few death threats, and you're gonna realize that apparently half of Xbox Live has slept with your mother, at least according to them. The only reason is because of the target finder, and this gets to me so much. I don't get why so many people hate on the target finder. It's basically the same thing as marksman from Modern Warfare 3. With marksman, their name would appear right above their head, like all the way across the map. You just aim in the center, right below that name. That's an instant headshot. You're pretty much guaranteed to get them. But with the target finder, it adds a little triangle, well, like a little triangle type thing around them, and then gives you tunnel vision. So it's like a slightly nerfed, slightly increased version of marksman, if that makes sense. It's better in some ways and worse in some ways because you get that tunnel vision. And if you don't like people using target finder, throw on what I think it's cold-blooded that makes you resistant to that. I can't remember, but it's one of those perks. But if you do feel like being a nice person, you want to be a nice guy, you want to make some friends, and you don't want death threats every 3 minutes, what I suggest you do is switch out the target finder for something like red dot, or even the ED tech sight, or the holographic sight, whatever it's called in this game. They switch it up so much. So go with that one, because when you're choosing between red dot and ED tech sight, personally I try to always go with the ED tech sight. Well, this has been more recently, because the ED tech sight reduces recoil a pretty decent amount. It's somewhat noticeable, so I try to go with that as opposed to the red dot. Now let's get right into perks. You guys probably already saw this coming: lightweight, toughness, and dexterity. Basically my base perks set for any really good class. Lightweight, move faster, toughness, less flinch when you get shot, and dexterity, because everybody runs dexterity, so you want to get your gun up as quickly as they do, so then you can win those gunfights. And then next up, I also have on perk 1 greed, so then I can throw on hardline, so I can get my UAV, counter UAV, and UAV, hunter killer, and counter UAV as quickly as I possibly can, because in free for all it is absolutely necessary. So there you go. There's your class setup for the QBB. I'm sure a lot of you guys knew that it was gonna be a target finder stock light machine gun, because that really is the best way to use light machine guns because of how effective it is. But like I said, if you're trying to make friends, I really don't suggest using the target finder, because you will honestly get a lot of hate, and it just blows my mind. But anyways, if you have a certain gun that you want to see me do an episode of Best Classes on, go ahead and leave that in the comments below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And don't forget to go into free-for-all, play 3 to 5 games, use the class setup that we talked about in this video, then post your best scores in the comment section below, or leave it as a video response. What I see a lot of people doing is they're leaving comments like, oh, I went like 30-1, I went like 30-0, I went like 30-2. Leave a video response, show me that gameplay. I want to see you raping kids. Well, that sounded terrible. I want to see you absolutely getting really good scores in Call of Duty with these class setups. That sounds much better. Anyways, I'm BTS. A like would be appreciated, and until next time, stay creative, guys.